Hello, everyone, and welcome to Disney Debate. We are a podcast, and we are Disney fans. It's created by Disney fans for Disney fans, and we like to explore the magic. We do different style episodes, and today we're doing like a hot topic in this. So we are going to be talking about Mundo Pixar, which is an experience that has travelled across the world now, and it's in London. So everyone here has been to the Mundo Pixar Experience, so we're just going to discuss like what we liked about it, what we didn't, and was it worth the cost, because it has got a hefty price tag for it. So I'm going to go and say hello to everyone and we'll go from there. So hello Dean, how are you today?
Yeah, I'm good, thank you. I just got back from London about an hour ago, so catching up to speed. Went to see Titanic on Friday night, which was
How was
amazing. Highly recommend it. Yeah, such a blast. But yeah, you can find me on Instagram, Dean Sparks and Vibes, and looking forward to chatting about Pixar Mundo with you all today.
Okay, and hi, nice to see you again, Jonathan. How are you doing today?
I'm doing really good, thanks. A little tired, obviously, because of Eurovision, but it was a lovely night.
Yeah. And where can we find you on?
You can find me at Jiffin_MC131 and at Straight Onto Disney Pod.
Brilliant. Great podcast as well, so make sure you check it out. How are you doing, Liz? Nice to see you on your first episode.
Hi, nice to see you. I'm doing good, yeah. Tired. It's a manic time of year for us because this is when all the birthdays start. We have virtually everyone in our family has their birthdays in the next 8 weeks, so it's manic, but good, and happy to be here.
Yeah, brilliant. Where can we find you on social?
So I'm on YouTube and Instagram and TikTok as Rockin5Kids, and you can find all my stuff under that name.
Brilliant. And last but not least, we have Zoe with us. How are you doing today?
Yeah, I'm really good. I'm going to follow the trend and say I'm also tired. I've not long got back from the Castle Bazaar market in Milton Keynes, which was just the most adorable thing, and had Tracy Beaker wandering around with her kids.
I'm very jealous.
All the people at the stalls like, have you seen? It was pretty cool.
She's a big Disney fan, isn't she? So
oh, big time, yeah.
I'm gutted. I really want to go to one of those. I'm hoping I can make the Christmas one.
Yeah, come in November. We'll make a thing of it.
Yeah, that'd be great. I thought we could go round and first of all talk about, because there's 13 rooms, I think it is, that are in the Mundo Pixar Experience. If you didn't know what the Mundo Pixar Experience is, it's basically a massive exhibition, but you walk round into each room and it's different Pixar films. So you're walking into Toy Story, you're in Andy's bedroom, you're walking into Inside Out, and you've got all the core memory orbs and stuff. So basically that's what it is. But I wanted to just ask you guys what your favourite rooms are. For me, it was probably the Coco one, because of all the details, like the ofrenda with all the different stuff on there. It just looked beautiful, and I liked how the other room as well had the screen projection on the floor with petals and stuff. I thought that was really cleverly done. But notable mention to Toy Story room, because you are literally a toy when you walk into there. I thought that was incredible, and it was so exciting to be in there because you were in Toy Story. So yeah, who wants to go next?
I really like Luca Room. It tends to be one of the Pixar ones that gets hardly any love. So I really liked that room. I thought it was done really well. It's some nice photo props and things. For me it was Luca.
Yeah, it's nice to see Luca have some representation.
I'm another one for Coco. It was like you felt like you were there. Like, I could have easily been celebrating Day of the Dead, and again Toy Story as well. I think they were both probably my favourites. But like you say, good to see the other films getting representation as well. I mean, most of them were cute. Like, who doesn't love this entire thing? Yeah, but I think Coco as well, and Toy Story for the sheer scale of it as well.
Yeah, I think for me, Andy's room was just perfect, because it was really like you were stepping into the film, and everything was there, and it was all so big, and you felt felt like one of the toys. So yeah, but an honourable mention also to Luca, because I really did like that one. I love the film, and it just, I don't know how they did it, but they just had the vibe absolutely right for it, and it was really nice.
I do love the Finding Nemo room with the way they did it on the ceiling. The Toy Story was a beautiful room. I think the Sunnyside one was kind of much more detailed than the other one, which was interesting.
Yeah, so I went in Barcelona when it was there, and we didn't have the Sunnyside room. That's a new addition for the London one. They did kind of hint at like, oh, there's going to be a new room, and we didn't know what it was going to be. I'm really happy that it was another Toy Story one because it looked amazing. However, I'm a bit sad because why have they not done another film? Because they did miss out quite a few films. So I was hoping, because I was wondering whether to go again, but with it being another Toy Story room, I was like, is it worth it? Because if it was like a new, like one, like maybe Incredibles or something, then I think I would have been more tempted. But obviously, again, it comes down to the cost, which we will go into. But yeah, what films would you like to see represented?
I just Googled a little list actually because my brain went blank and I thought, what Pixar films do I know? But yeah, like now I'm thinking about it more, and I didn't know that Barcelona didn't have the Sunnyside room. But yeah, I think it would have been good to have something like The Incredibles, absolutely, or something like Brave as well. You could have had like this whole sort of like Scottish woodland, and like the plate with the buns on, or you know, like a projection of like the Wisps or something like that. I think that would have been really cute.
I think they missed a trick by not including Wally and Turning Red. And even something for Hoppers, like when they said there was going to be a new room, kind of, I think speculation was, oh, is it going to be for Hoppers? But no, it's just an extra Toy Story one. And it did seem a bit lopsided, like you had 2 for Toy Story, 2 for Up, and then all the other ones kind of got 1. And then kind of, what was it, Elementals felt like it was kind of added on at last minute, a tiny little train. They could have done a lot more with that, I thought.
Yeah, that room was much smaller than the others.
I think Bugs Life would have been pretty cool if you'd made all the bugs really big and sort of, you know, human size so that you could really get in amongst them. That would have been nice.
Yeah, I do think it was missing a few of them, and we were saying when we were there, it could have been nice if there'd been a room at the end where there was like something from everything.
And I'm interested now because obviously they've got 2 exhibitions touring because they've extended the one in London and they've got it in Tokyo at the moment, if they're both the same or whether there are differences, or maybe they change the attraction depending on the space they've got to put it on. Because there was a lot of kind of hallways into a hallway between each room, wasn't there? So, yeah, I wonder the layout if it's all the same.
It looks very similar to what I experienced just with the addition of the of a Toy Story room. Like even the what was it? Like the entrance and the shop looked pretty much the same. But yeah, I'm not sure whether they're gonna keep adding more films. That would be good. But yeah, it's travelled quite a lot. Like I looked before, and it's been to Madrid, it's been to Barcelona. I went in, it was November 2024 when I went to the Barcelona one. Then it went to Brussels. It's also been to Brazil, Mexico. It's been in Asia as well, in Korea and North America, in Texas. Oh, it's currently in London and Tokyo. One thing I wanted to ask you about was, how was it crowd-wise?
I think for me, I went on the opening day for London. So I thought it wouldn't be too busy because it was a weekday and it was school term, but there were a lot of people with toddlers there, which I think it's not really a toddler kind of place. I think most people think it's Pixar, it's, you know, but it's not really, because it's something you go and see and have your photos taken. So the kids were all wanting to climb over stuff and they're not allowed to. So it was really busy, and a lot of people trying to wrangle little kids. And I've got nothing against kids. I have 5 of my own, but I went there on my own because I wanted the adult experience. So it was crowded, and I thought if it's crowded like that on a weekday, then it's going to be busy at the weekend. But I don't know what other people's experiences were.
I went on a weekend. I went on the 21st of March. I don't know how long it had been open at that point. I don't think it was very long. But I think my experience of the crowds was quite different. It was very sort of staggered. We were queuing for a while to get in, but then they were only letting so many in at a time. So there weren't too many in rooms at all. Obviously, the first part you go into is the first little section for Up, and that felt quite crowded. But as people sort of started to take their time in different places, I found that the crowds spread out a lot more. Again, I agree with the toddlers. I think there's been a very sort of misadvertised concept for this experience, like, hey, bring your babies, it's an immersive experience. No, it's not. Do not bring your children. Do not bring your small children. It's not, there's nothing for them to do, because it is a photo experience, really.
Yeah, I think older kids will enjoy it, but not the young ones. But when we went, they did do the thing with the staggered people in, but I was hanging around to try and get some photos with not many people around, but by the time you'd done that, they'd let the next group in.
Yep.
So yeah, it never sort of got much emptier, because they were getting them through. There was only a couple of rooms where people sort of went through very quickly, I think for the not as popular films, that you managed to actually get a bit of space in there. But a lot of the time, once one group had half finished, they were letting the next group in. So,
and like kind of well, as you probably saw when you saw it, Olivia, but they've got a find the Pixar ball. You've got to search for a ball in each room.
Yeah, I don't remember this.
To keep the kids occupied, but that's really enough. It just felt like it was a last minute add-on because they knew they were in trouble by sending all these tickets to kids. It's not for kids. And like I've seen a lot of influencers kind of online kind of saying, oh, what an awful exhibit, how it was pants and things, but it's not. It's actually a really good exhibit, but it's not for children. I'm sorry. If you've got well-behaved kids that are happy just to chill and you can get them to pose and take photos and things, then yeah, they're going to love it. But the majority of the kids is not enough to do. I wouldn't waste my money on taking kids, to be honest.
Yeah, because they can't really touch anything. I think people are going in thinking it's interactive and they can, play about in the rooms, but it is basically you walk into the rooms. Obviously it's amazing. The scale and everything is great, and the props and everything are amazing. But it is you'll be taking photos and you'll just be taking it all in. There's not much else. There's nothing interactive in there. I don't know how they could make it interactive. Is there any ideas of how you think they could incorporate something to make it more interactive for people?
I think the main way would probably be sort of like, but then it's encouraging screen time, like screen games, like things like that, because like Dean said, the spotting the ball thing isn't enough. Although a lot of them are quite high up and we were warned not to touch them, and I thought, I can't get up there. Of all the warnings they could have given us, they were like, we ask that you don't move the balls. I'm like, okay. But yeah, I think if they created a bit more of like a scavenger hunt, some sort of, when you go to other things and it's like on paper and they tick off what they can find, and maybe there is something that they can then achieve at the end, that would keep children busy. But there's only so many photos a child is willing to withstand before they're like, come on, Mum. Yeah, it's not for the tiddly ones. But they could definitely do something, especially, I didn't realise it had been to so many locations, Olivia, until you said. So I feel like actually in all of those locations there has been room for growth for something like that. But then if they haven't, are they really designing it for children or for fabulous adults like us.
Comes down to the Disney adult thing. Disney is not just for kids.
I mean, the only thing that I can think of is they could include like 3 or 4 meet and greets throughout. That would probably get happy, but it would just the queues. I mean, the queues to get on the Toy Story chair in the Toy Story room. That was, but yeah, you kind of pick your battles, don't you? You should realise it's going to be busy when you go in, but yeah, it's not for kids.
Yeah, I'm wondering whether they could have done like a quiz kind of thing, or add more to just finding one ball. You see, like certain things in the room you have to find. But then again, if you're trying to get all these people through, you don't want all these.
You don't want people hanging around.
Yeah.
I also think it was the younger kids that were the issue, and they're not going to be able to do like quizzes and stuff. It was sort of like the under sixes, I suppose. And they want to be playing with things. They want to touch things. That's what they do. They touch everything. And so not being able to touch it and having people constantly go, don't touch. Yeah, I think. I don't know. I don't know whether you could put something in that they could try and interact with physically, but then you're kind of giving them the impression that you can touch things. And you can touch that, but not touch that. And that's going to make it really tricky. Maybe just have a creche at the start. So that, and the staff just say, look, they're not going to enjoy it. Leave your kids here. You go and have fun. And we'll come back.
Well, I went to Legoland a few years ago. I went with my friend Sarah, and we took her daughter, and they had a new area, like the Flight of the Lion thing, like their take on soaring. But around the area, they had like VR things. You put your phone against it, and it made the bricks come to life and move and things. So maybe something like that, but it all costs money. Although they're probably making a pretty penny from this, so they can afford to invest.
Yeah, definitely. And that brings us on to prices. So before this, I had a quick look at the cost of things. So if you wanted to do a flexible admission, so an all day, whenever you turn up, you can go. That's £45 per person. For a timed slot, this is the London one, by the way, a time slot is £31 per person, and children are £22 per child. You can do a premium admission at £46, which we will go on to because Zoe did actually do this, and that includes an access card, which it says is a lanyard, a Pixar notebook, a Pixar branded pencil, and a photo package. And there was also offers for families and groups, and it was worth noting as well there was a £2 processing fee on top of those charges as well. Just a bit cheeky there, aren't they? But what I found, what was really interesting, and it's a bit annoying for you guys who did go in London, is the price it cost for 2 of us to go to the Mundo Pixar in Barcelona was for a time slot. So time slot in London is £31. A time slot for the 2 of us, £30.60 it cost us. So to go in London, it's double the cost. Now, I knew it was probably going to come to London. Obviously, I knew it had been throughout the world, and it was in Barcelona in that year. And I was umming and ahhing what to do. And I was like, you know what? It would be nice to do a little weekend in Barcelona. We can do a bit of sightseeing, whatever. And the cost of a flight over to Barcelona is probably cheaper than a train ticket for me to get to London. So we just did it, and I'm so glad we did because it ended up being cheaper. But yeah, I thought I was so shocked at the price difference. So obviously there's been a lot of on social media saying, was it worth the money? People saying it is overpriced. Obviously for me, it was definitely worth the money. But I wanted to know for you guys, obviously spending that, was it worth the money? And obviously I want to know about the premium admission little goodies as well. So go ahead.
Okay, so premium admission. I'm raging at how much you paid. Like, I'm so jealous. However, because of the price for time slot and premium, we didn't see it being much of a difference, which is why we went for it. And so this is what I've got with me what you get. So I'm going to start with the photo package. It included a photo package, she says in air quotations. So like with typical tourist attractions, you get your photo taken at the beginning and they give you a little card with a QR code and you can see them at the end. There were a choice of, I think, of about 3 or 4 backgrounds you could have. So this premium ticket entitled you to 1 printout. So it comes in a very cute Mundo Pixar Experience wallet, a journey through your favourite stories, and it flips to become a holder. And I went for the inside out one. There was also a Luca background, I think, and I want to say a Cars background, but don't quote me on it. So one of these on their own, without the package, I believe was something like £12, I think. Which, for these kind of experiences, is actually quite cheap. Because I've recently been to other London tourist attractions, things like the London Eye, and that was £22 for 1 photo. So on a separate stance, I don't think that's too bad in price. And then you get this little box as well, which does have our lamp and Pixar ball motif on the front. I'm trying to describe things as best as possible for Spotify listeners. So I'm going to open it up. And you do get 3 items inside. So it is displayed really nicely in this velvety feeling polystyrene case. So you do get a lanyard which says, it's black and says VIP Pass Mundo Pixar Experience, and on the end it has your VIP Pass tag. I've never even taken it out. It's not something you're obliged to wear around it. Whereas when I did the 100 exhibition, they gave this to you separately and everyone wore them around the exhibition. You also get a notebook. What I like about the notebook is this kind of like doodled effect of the characters, which I think is really sweet. So we've got Woody, Buzz, Nemo, Dory, Edna Mode. See, that's what's sad. Edna Mode is on here and there was no ode to The Incredibles. And it's plain, it's not lined. And then you get a little Mundo Pixar pencil as well with the logo on. So on the whole, with the VIP part and what you get, do I think it was worth it? No, is my very honest answer. Like the picture, £10, I probably would have done that anyway. To get in on my time slot and then get this, no, I think to make it slightly more worth it, I do think there should have been a pin or something like that, something that feels more like a collectible, because the lanyard doesn't feel like a collectible at all. Again, if I think back to the Disney100 Exhibition, you did get a pin with that. So, yeah.
And there was no pin in the shop either.
Yeah, there was... And that's the thing with the merch for this place as well. Like, there wasn't even a pin to buy, which was really sad. So, no, it's described as the Mundo Pixar Journey Kit. Step into the world of your favourite stories and take a part of it with you. Created especially for Pixar fans who want to go beyond the exhibition, this special edition box is both your companion during the experience and a tangible reminder of the stories you've explored. So, that's what you get with your admission for the pricely sum of £46.
Part of me thinks it's all right as a deal with it though, because when you saw the price of the merch, that was very expensive. So if you think like getting a little something, then it's not too bad considering you get the photo as well as, because if you bought something similar in the shop, it probably would have been very expensive. But
the photo was the best part, because like you said, the merch was really expensive. Like the Disney store is cheaper than what they're selling.
And it wasn't like, I noticed with the merch, it wasn't like, it's licensed, but it's not like the official stuff you see in the Disney store. just was kind of, it was a bit meh. I don't
Did
know.
anyone buy any merch?
I bought a mug, which is over there, which is Mundo Pixar on it, but it didn't say Barcelona, so it's the same merch in every place. I thought there was going to be, you know, like when the Disney100 Exhibition, it had London on it, didn't it? So yeah,
Yeah, I bought a couple of bits there because I just couldn't go and not buy something. So I did get this planner which has Mundo Pixar on. I've not actually used it yet. I'm always doing this. I buy planners, so I'm going to organise myself, and then I don't. But it's got like lots of sticky notes in and a weekly planner, so it's quite cute. But it wasn't cheap. It was a bit costly. I think that was £19, which is a lot. But it's a nice hardback bit book. And I also bought. I do really like this, like a flask, and you can put tea or coffee in. It actually has. I don't have it in there at the moment, but it has like a little tea strainer thing in. So if you're actually going to use real tea, you can put your tea in. But I've used this loads since buying it, and I actually put some tea in it, and then didn't get to drink it. And 5 hours later, it was still hot. So it is a really good piece of kit, and I'm really pleased I bought that. But it's a very practical thing. But I really like the fact that it's got sadness on there, just looking miserable. So yeah, that's a piece of merch I was quite happy to buy because it felt like I've got a lot of use out of it, and it's a really good quality piece. But other than that, a lot of the stuff was very expensive.
And how much was the travel mug?
I think that was £20, which for a decent travel mug, I think that's about standard, really, isn't it? And it's obviously very well insulated, so yeah, I was quite happy with that. Although I didn't know at the time it would be really good.
Did you buy anything, Jonathan?
No, we didn't. But to be honest, a lot of the stuff is on Disney Store UK and much cheaper. Like the official T-shirts, you could go on with 22 on Disney Store, and they were much more expensive in there. So to be honest, we barely got anything out of there.
I was searching for a pin. I kept going round and round, going, where's the pin?
Mhm.
Because I always get from any like attractions or whatever, I will get a pin. Obviously, you can't see there, but I was really gutted. I think they missed the mark on that because
Yeah,
people.
I was really surprised they had no pins. I couldn't believe it. Yeah.
Even just the Pixar characters, why was there just none of that? I think I liked how they had the little bags that were kind of like lounge size. They were really cute. And there was a shop as well, and I've noticed they've not done it in London. They actually had when I was in Barcelona, they had the shopping centre. It was Westfield Shopping Centre where it was based, the exhibition. And then in the shopping centre, they had a shop as well as that was the Mundo Pixar shop. So even if you weren't going to the experience, you could go and get some of the merch as well. But it was quite limited. But yeah, there wasn't much Mundo Pixar like stuff. It was just Pixar things. So that's why I ended up with a mug, because I wanted something at least that said Mundo Pixar on it, because I loved it. But yeah, I need a pin. I've got Pixar pins, but I just want one that has that on it.
Yeah.
Pixar.
And magnet.
Yeah. I was tempted to do the photos as well, but there were only, I think, 2 like screens where you could go and select your photo at the end, maybe 3, and the queue was just huge the whole time. So I was in the shop for a good 40 minutes looking round, and the queue just seemed to be getting bigger and bigger. So I didn't do it in the end, unfortunately. I think they needed more kiosks for doing the photos. Or you could do it on your phone or something if you scan the QR code and then get it, because you still had to go to, I think you went to the cash desk to actually pick it up, didn't you? You did just use the kiosk to select what you wanted. So yeah, I think they could have done with more there.
I'm surprised the photos were that popular because obviously you've taken so many photos throughout that thing. Do you really need one at the start where it's a green screen in the back when you've been in those rooms?
I think the thing is because it was the first day, maybe nobody knew what was going to be on them. So people were looking, but maybe not actually buying them. So they were going up to the kiosks and having a look at what the backgrounds were and everything, just to have a look.
Yeah.
I didn't see anywhere where you could see what the possible backgrounds were without actually having to go and put your QR code in and everything. So maybe that's why the queue was so big.
We've talked about highlights and in a way talked a little bit about lowlights.
Yeah, I was going to say what rooms we didn't really like.
Yeah, like what ones were the letdown.
Okay.
Because as beautiful as it all was, I think we've briefly covered this, but ones like Elemental were completely underdone, especially as it's not even an old film.
Yeah, because they could have had all the different elements as well. They just had Ember and Wade are the names, aren't they? Had those two, and it was in the very small, like little train scene.
I think that's where crowds dispersed because people were just going, oh, and carrying on.
So it did feel like a bit of a walkway, sort of transition between rooms rather than a room in itself.
I was also a tiny bit disappointed with the Ratatouille room as well.
Yeah.
Yeah, where with Remy, really. It's just...
Exactly.
Yeah.
Spoiler alert for anyone who's watching and hasn't been.
Yeah, I was, yeah. It was great to see Emile, but Remy, it was just a little shadow thing.
And you have to time your camera perfectly if you want to get him.
I stood there ages trying to get a photo.
Well, I was waiting for the hat to move and him to be underneath.
Yeah.
It's just, yeah.
Yeah, that's one thing I thought they could have done is like animatronic type things. Instead of all the characters that were in the rooms, they were quite static. Well, they were just statues, not quite static. They are static. But if they added animatronics or something, that would have, made it a bit better. I can't remember, was there music and stuff in there?
Yeah, there was music playing.
Yeah, because obviously it was a long time ago since I went. But yeah, that was one thing I thought about was animatronics of some sort.
And some of the scale was slightly off as well, just to be really picky. Yeah. But like Buzz and Woody, they were completely the wrong. I thought they were the wrong size compared to the room and everything around them. It all just seemed to be slightly off a bit. But on the whole, I really enjoyed it. It was good.
Yeah, for like a note of nostalgia, because as adults, all of these films are like from our childhoods.
Yeah.
It is a lovely thing to go in and be like, that's Boo's door, or I'm a toy, or all those different things. And I loved particularly in the up room, the sky screen, and looking out for Kevin. That was great. So it is an adorable experience. There just clearly are areas for improvement, particularly with the cost. I'm looking at you, Barcelona.
Do you think it was worth the price? Sorry, I cut you off there.
No, for me, I would pay that again. I would have been much happier if it was cheaper, and it did feel a bit like, but I only got the timed entry ticket, so I got the cheapest ticket possible. So yeah, to me that felt okay, but yeah, it would have been nice if it was a bit cheaper.
I think it's a cost for families as well. If there is, you've got a few kids as well, and partner or whatever, it does add up quite a lot. So you're looking at over 100 to go to it, maybe for families. I don't know if it is worth it to spend that much on what it is.
I don't know if they actually did a family ticket or not. Actually,
I did see family tickets. It was for 2 adults, 2 children. I can't remember what it was, but it wasn't loads off. They did have offers for families, and then small groups and large groups as well, where you got a few quid off. but still it does add up for what it is. And you're in there, I don't know about you, but I was in there for an hour and a half maybe. It's not the longest of experiences either.
That was going to be my next question. How long did everyone spend in there? Because I've heard of people staying in there for about 3 hours, and I think, really?
No,
I think I was in there.
Other than take a million photos.
Yeah, I think I was in there for about an hour and a half as well.
I'm just looking at all the photos I took there now, just so I can try and work out how long I was in there for.
What about you guys? Because you were both together going through it. How long were you guys in there for?
I think it was a good hour and a half, maybe a bit.
We got out around about four-ish and went in about 2:30.
Yeah.
Mm.
Yeah, there was a
Great
couple of...
going in as a group.
Mm.
And all group photos.
Yeah, no, it was good. Yeah, we did get a few group shots in there. Yeah, no, I enjoyed it. I thought it was worth the money personally, but then I'm not taking any kids, so slightly cheaper.
Yeah, I've just checked. I was there for an hour and a half, so, and I felt like I took my time. I felt like I hadn't rushed it or anything. So, yeah.
And it is nice. They're not rushing you through the rooms. You can take as long as you want. They're not pacing you through to the next room. Like some rooms are more detailed than others, more things to look at and things.
What were some of the we've done favourite rooms, but what about the little touches that you saw in rooms? What did everyone think? Because I loved in the up when you went into the house and you've got the room. There were you could spend quite a long time in there. There were so many little bits, like the pictures on the mantelpiece and, you know, the chairs and everything. I thought that was really nicely done.
Did you go through the book?
Yes, had to look through the book.
I was about to say the book, because it was just... You look at it and you think, oh, it's just going to be a prop piece where it's like stuck down, but actually could flick through it, which was a really nice detail.
I'd say the up book as well. I thought that was adorable attention to detail. And the ice creams in the Luca room, you could have yourself like a little prop, like.
Yeah, we had one of the staff members in the Luca room. They were really encouraging people to sort of sit on the bike and they would take your photo and sit having an ice cream so they could take your photo. And they were really getting involved in it. Whereas in some rooms, some of the staff were just sort of, I'm just going to stand here and if I get asked to take a photo, I will. But otherwise, yeah, no. But yeah, it was really nice in the Luca room.
Yeah, some staff were really into it. There were lots that were like really full of conversation, and in the Nemo room they've got the giant goggles, and I was like, I want my picture in there. And my friend joined me, and the staff offered to like take the photo, but I didn't realise until obviously I looked later, but she actually took like my favourite video of the whole experience. Like she'd like done the bubbles and then it came over onto the goggles and it actually made us look like we were swimming a little bit. I was like, okay, like this is a cast member who knows what she's doing. It was amazing.
That sounds amazing. Yeah. I had one in the Cars room who was taking photos, and he just kept taking all these photos, and I'm sort of like, I just wanted a couple next to like Lightning McQueen, but then he was like, come on, let's do Mater, let's come over here, and I'm like, all these other people are still waiting for photos. I'm done, it's fine, you can help the other people now.
That's the one thing I've remembered. Mater wasn't there for me. Like I was trying to remember what the differences are, obviously, from them both, but yeah, Mater was, it was just Lightning McQueen in that room. Still good,
Wow.
but yeah, that was one other thing.
That's a shame, because Mater was quite a nice bit in there.
We didn't get the hopper they had, I think, King George, didn't they, when it opened in London, I think, at the end. We didn't get any hoppers as we came out, which I was a bit disappointed about.
That's a shame. I'm sad that they took that away, because there wasn't a huge gap between me going and you going. like a little
Well,
over a month, and it's still a relatively new film.
all I can think is maybe it got damaged, so they pulled it.
Mm.
That's sad.
What would you all give it out of 10? Rating out of 10. For me, it would probably be 8 out of 10.
I was going to say 8 out of 10.
A fair rate.
Yeah, I'd be happy with 8.
Yeah, definitely an 8.
As an adult experience, an 8. I think if you were there with children, it would be a lot less.
Yeah, you'd be pulling your hair out.
It'd be a 10 out of 10 if they had all of the films.
Yeah.
But I think it's kind of a thing that it's like a one and done as well. I don't know if it's something you would revisit as well. So
I am debating taking some of the kids because I think they would like to see it, and they're a bit older, so they enjoy the sort of being able to see stuff and have photos and things. So I am debating going back, but I'm really not sure because of the cost of it. And when you think of other things that you can do for that kind of price, I'm not sure. So I'm glad it's been extended. It gives me more time to have a think about it.
I will say I did like the cinema room beforehand, before you go in. I thought that all up quite nicely. And
Yeah,
it
it's nice.
gave it a bit of a break. Palette cleanser before you go in, kind of go into the films. How would you guys compare it against was it the 100 Years exhibit a couple of years back? Would you say they're on par? Because there was that one, there was a lot to like take photos of and things, but again, there wasn't a huge amount to do in that one. It was similar kind of like an exhibit. There wasn't a lot for kids to do there either, I didn't think.
I think because it's so different, because that one was like a museum type thing, whereas this was more of a photo op kind of experience. I don't know how to compare them because they are so different. I don't know, because I enjoyed them both in different ways, so I'm not sure with that one.
Yeah.
Yeah, they are hard to compare because the 100 exhibition, that could easily be like a little independent museum of its own. But this is a glorified photo experience.
Yeah.
So if I had to pick one that I preferred, I would say the Disney100 Exhibition, because you had your mix of photo ops while learning things as well. There wasn't, even just before each room at Mundo, it would have been nice, sort of like, I don't know, like a bit of knowledge before going in, but I also recognised that each room was kind of meant to be a surprise, and that's why you've got the curtains and you kind of peek in and see what there is. But yeah, if I had to pick one over the other, I would say I preferred the Disney100 experience.
I think there was just so much more to that. You know, there was so much more to see and lots of information to read. I think that definitely took me a lot longer to get around. But then it also had quite a lot of things that you could, stand with and take your photo with. So, yeah, I think for me, the Disney 100 was better. But I've just thought of a complaint that I have about both of them, which is the same thing. I'm sure they do it deliberately, maybe, but there's no toilets there's no toilets in the middle of it. And if you leave to go to the toilet, you are not allowed back in.
Are you not?
No, because I asked. So you've got to go before you go in, and then your time in there is going to be limited by how good you are at waiting to go to the toilet, which I just find really unfair, because there are going to be people with maybe medical issues that need to go, and people with young children who need to go. So yeah, I think just toilets halfway through wouldn't be a difficult thing.
And then something I thought to make it a bit more interactive, because it is pretty much a glorified like selfie thing, isn't it? Like they could have introduced like an adult ball pit, maybe with inside out. They could have done like something with mirrors, with another, maybe elemental mirrors, just like various things to make it a bit more interactive. Possibly that would have been a bit more and then a bit more family friendly in doing so. Maybe even like you get like the wind pits, don't you? Go in the room and they put the wind on, whipping around you, and just things like that. Maybe.
Well, the bit in the Coco room with the floor, that was really nice. So yeah, just a few more bits like that around would have been good. Yeah.
Maybe even like some artwork in each room that was 3D, and then they could give like 3D, like cheap paper 3D glasses or something. That would keep the kids a bit more entertained as well.
Or even like concept art and stuff about the films, a bit more, so you know more about the films and what went into them.
Yeah.
To give that kind of informative bit with it as well. That would be quite cool.
Maybe in the hallways going in, just explain a bit. Maybe a video screen like showing the making of or something like that.
Yeah. Because I did enjoy that they had the concept art in the gift shop on the walls. So they could have had more of that throughout.
Yeah,
that would be good.
I'm just trying to think of all of the other little bits in the rooms that, because there was quite a lot of detail actually in the rooms if you took your time to be able to look around and stuff. So, but then again, some of them there weren't. So the Nemo room, I spent ages in just walking around having a look at everything. Like you say, Elemental, not so much. And the Inside Out room was very, I'll take the picture by the console and there's all the balls on the wall which look really pretty, but that was kind of it. There wasn't much more detail, I thought. So yeah, some of the rooms had loads of details and some of them just didn't.
But that doesn't mean that we're not recommending it to people, by the way. We are. We're in no way trying to detract anyone. Like,
yeah, I think the fact most of us gave it 8 out of 10.
Yeah, exactly. I just thought it was worth throwing that in.
The bits they did well are superb.
Yeah, definitely. If you're into your Disney and your Pixar, it is a great thing to have here in the UK. So much so, you know it's going to be something that, I travelled to Barcelona just for it. So I'm sure a lot of people will be travelling down to London for it. It's great to have more of these sort of things. Hopefully it travels some more. I think it will. Obviously it's in Tokyo as well at the moment. So at least it must be popular if it's done so many. And obviously extended now into November for London as well. So, yeah.
And don't be afraid to wear ears. Somebody said to me, that like they were preparing to go and they were like, will I look really silly like if I wear my ears? I was like, I did a full on Disney bound. I was like, I was loving life. Like, yeah, was I the only person wearing ears? Yes, I was. But it was
good because I had these ears on, but I hadn't done like a full outfit because I travelled down that day, obviously on the flight and stuff. So I just had comfies on. But yeah, that's my only thing. If I went again, I'd have to do like a full on. I've got like a Pixar windbreaker and stuff. I'd just be like a full on Pixar ball. So people would have to find me in the room, not the actual ball instead. I'd just be like in the corner.
I love that idea.
Yeah, I'm kind of tempted now to do it.
I think it's perfect for like if you're having like a hen party, a stag do, if you're into Pixar or just a birthday. Yeah, I think it's fun if you all dress up as your favourite Pixar character, and even better.
I think the fact that I was travelling down by train on the day and going straight there and then coming straight home, I thought I'm not gonna Disney bound doing this one, but maybe in the future if I go again,
yeah, pop it in your bag.
I'll take some stuff with me, yeah, and do it.
All right, so we've kind of covered there our thoughts on the Mundo Pixar Experience. Overall, we're giving it a good review there. Definitely head down to London whilst it's still on if you're available to do so. Obviously, it's a little pricey, but I think it's definitely worth it if you're into Pixar films. But yeah, so if you've enjoyed this podcast, make sure if you're listening on Spotify to give it a good rating for us. We have recently gone on there, so we're trying to build that up. If you haven't already, please make sure you've subscribed to us if you're listening on YouTube. But yeah, let us know if you've been to the Pixar experience. What did you think? Which was your favourite room? We'd love to hear your thoughts and have a little chat about it. But yeah, thanks so much for listening and watching wherever you are. And yeah, we'll see you guys in the next one. Bye.
Bye.
Bye.